What's up everyone, Tiffany Quinn here, and this is our lower body strength and stability workout. Through today's 30-minute routine, I'll be helping you build strength in your legs and stability in your hips with a combination of body weight only and dumbbell weighted exercises. The only two things you'll be needing for equipment today include a set of medium to heavier dumbbells for lower body, and we'll also be including a yoga block, or you could substitute using a thick book to help increase both our lunge and squat depth today. Now keep in mind the block is an optional piece of equipment to use, so you can opt to go without it and do all the same exercises on the floor. However, it will increase the intensity of the routine, so I'd highly encourage you to try it. Now smash that thumbs up button for me, subscribe to the channel for a new routine every week, and let's go ahead and get into it. Leg day workout everyone, welcome in. I hope you're ready to burn things up because we are going in on the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, and the thighs today. Now, as far as our format goes, we have a total of 10 trisets to go through. Our timer will be set for 60 seconds work, another 60 seconds work, mostly one side and then the other, though we do have some bilateral in there as well, followed by a 30-second work period to complete the triset, and then we have a 30-second rest between each. So we are starting off with the glutes. That block is going to be used for elevation. Keep in mind you can do all the same exercises without it, same moves on the mat. The other thing I would suggest is not going with your heaviest weights today and using a moderate weight that you would normally use, for the simple fact that we do have a long time spent under tension. So let's get into our first position. Before I start our timer, we're taking the left leg forward, the right leg back, and we're coming into our lunge stance. Now from here, no weights to start, we're coming down into that lunge, slow with the eccentric. We're going to lift the back leg up in a knee flexion, bring it back down and back up. Going in 3, going in 2, find your balance. In 1, starting from that top position, we're coming down, slow, ease into that depth, raise the back leg into a hamstring curl, squeezing the hamstrings, back down and lift. Slow to lower, lift that back leg, squeeze that hamstring, back down and lift. Just warming things up a bit, and of course working things as well. That knee is staying behind the toe as you come down, lifting that leg, back down and up. 1 minute each side here. And of course if you need to, you can use the wall for support. And lift. Come down, plantar flexion, point the toes, dorsiflexion, flex the foot, and up. 1 more for me. Lower down, lift that back leg, squeeze, lower, and 5-second transition to the other side. All right, take it back, and we're going in 2, in 1. Slow to lower, lift the back leg, squeeze that hamstring, back down, and raise. Take your time, facing straight ahead, finding that balance, and have that weight nearby. For our third tricep move, we're going straight into sumo squats. Slow to lower, lift the back leg, lower down, and back. 1, 2, squeeze, lower, and raise. Both hips are facing forward here. Again, you'll get a 5-second transition into our sumo squats. Lift, lower, back up, bring it down. Lift, lower, back up, bring it down. 1 more. Lower, bring it up, and bring yourself to that upright position. Into our third exercise. Do you feel the hamstrings light up? Grab that weight for me. Legs are coming wide, feet to 45, and we're coming into our sumo squat, pulse, and raise. Bringing the booty down low. Then you have that 30-second rest, and then we'll be bringing in the block. Down, pulse, and raise. Knees are nice and wide. Facing straight ahead, chest is proud and lifted, shoulders back and down. 2 more. Last one. Lift it up through the heels and put that weight to the side. All right, so next up, I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that we're going into our step lunges. Now you can opt to use the weight here, but you certainly don't have to. And once again, if you don't want to use the elevation, that's all right. Same exercise, just on the mat. So let's balance on the leg you were not just working. For me, that's going to be my left. Into our lunge stance. We're taking it back nice and slow and standing up tall. Let's go. Take it back and raise. Ease into that extra depth. Use that block to increase your depth. And back up. Take your time. Take extra breaks as you need them. And know that if it takes a second to get into our next position, that's all right. That timer is just a guide. And back up. Pressing that weight into the front heel. Finding that balance. And up. Step back, slow to lower, and up. Not allowing that knee to pile drive into the floor, right? And raise. We want it controlled, gently tapping the mat below us and bringing it back to standing. One more on that side, lift up and take a moment to get to our next position here. Elevate that heel, standing tall. Let's take it away. Step it back and raise. Keep in mind, the further you take that back leg away from you, the harder it's going to be. And you really want to drive yourself back up through the front heel. And up. Keeping both of those hips straight ahead. And up. And this is why we worked on knee flexion before we got started. Easing into that depth, feeling the quad and the glute light up. Pressing your weight strong into the glute from the heel. Take it back and lift it up. And raise. 2 more for me. Last one. Come up, back into our sumo squat stance. Finishing off the glutes here. Taking the feet wide, bring it down, pulse, and raise. Try to see if you can come down a little bit lower this time than you did with the previous tricep. And up through the glutes. And up. Feel those hamstrings, quads, and thighs and glutes light up. And raise. For 4, pulse up. For 3, pulse up. And 2. One more for me. And bring it up. Okay, straight into hamstrings. You do have a 30-second rest though. So we're gonna go ahead and grab one of our weights for this. Mind you, I'm using my 15 pounds today. And we're going to place it in our left hand, working into the left side. We have 4 steps forward with single leg deadlifts, 4 steps back, then we change sides. All right, balancing on that front leg to start, coming down, lift up, step forward, down, lift up, step forward, down, lift up, step forward. Last time this direction, and step it back. Weight is pressing through the heels. You can lift the toes up a little bit. And 4, and raise, and step it forward. Back up, again. Back up, again. Back up, follow that eye gaze forward. And raise, step it back. And up for 3. And up for 2. Get the heart rate up, last one. And let's just take one last step forward and transition to that other side. Weight changes hands. All of that weight in the right side now. Step back on the left. Deadlift down and raise, step forward. Down and raise, step forward. Step forward, last one. And take it back for 4. For 3. For 2, core tight, back straight. Last one. And forward again. For 4 and up. For 3 and up. Keep the weight close like you're painting down the leg. And take it back. For 3. For 2, you do not have to go at my pace, by the way. Just here to guide you through it. 4 to come forward. Hinging through the hips, lifting up through the hips like you're pressing yourself upward through the hip thrust. Last 4. Last 3, you've got this. Last 2. And on 1, lift up, grab a hold of that other weight, coming into a narrow position with the feet in line with your hips into our narrow deadlifts. For those last 20 seconds, burn it out. Feel the stretch in your hamstring. Squeeze your core nice and tight. Chest is proud and lifted. Can you get 2 more for me? And raise. Last one. And raise. Okay, 30 seconds rest. We actually are going to go ahead and grab a hold of that block once again. And just like before, same move if you're not using the block. All you're going to do is come into that single leg deadlift stance. Hands are coming behind or at the chest, whatever feels more comfortable. We're going to hinge forward on that single leg and back up. If you're using the block, left heel to start comes up on the block. The back leg, the heel is lifted, we're on the toes, but we're not placing weight into it. Hinging forward and raise. Pushing the booty out behind you, finding that stretch in the hamstring, squeezing the core tight, and facing straight ahead. No, it's not easy. I feel it too. We've got to balance through it. Not allowing the upper back to round, okay? Coming down to your personal lowest point where that hip hinge, or rotation rather, stops. And back up. You've got 30 seconds left. Stay strong. Balancing through that heel. Of course, modify on the floor if you need to. Slow to lower, breathing out as you come down. Breath in as you come up. Works best for me, though you can try the opposite. 2 more. Last one, pull up through those hips and take a moment to get yourself into position. The right heel comes up, the left toes are back. Hands are behind the head, bracing the temples, coming down into that hinge and raise. Now you may notice that one side is more balanced than the other. For me, tends to be the right side. I get a little shakier in. That's okay. Just stay strong, slow it down, and press up through that hip flexion and extension. And raise, 30 seconds. Our final exercise here is going to be both heels up into the same motion. How you guys feeling? It's not horrible, right? I don't think it's too bad. I'm actually having fun. I know some leg days, it's like we get 10 minutes in and I'm going, when does this end? Coming down and lifting up through the hips. Another 2. Last one, lift up, place both heels on that block or stay on the mat. Hands by the temples, hinge forward and raise, not allowing the knees to buckle in. I want a nice straight back, core tight. Facing exactly where you're going. We're not looking up. Take it slow. Booty comes back and behind you like you're knocking over a beach umbrella. And up, let's take it one more time. Hold at the bottom for 3, for 2, on 1, slowly bring yourself back up. Okay, hamstring circuits are complete, trisets rather. We're going into quads now. So we're starting off with our staggered stance lunges. Now these can be fairly challenging, okay? So pace yourself through it. We're going to take one weight into our hand. Now rather than the lunge stance where we're pretty far back, we're going to take a closer step forward and we're coming down as low as you can without the knee aching and back up. Let's go. Coming down slow and lift. If you can make it all the way to the floor, that's great, but don't push it, all right? Listen to your body. If it's 1/8 of the way down and back up, that's okay. Slow to lower and raise through the quads, through the front heel, through the glute. You're gonna feel it. And lift. And lift. Heel is lifted onto the balls of the toes on the back. And raise. You've only got 24 more seconds to go. Stay strong. Knee is staying behind the toe. 90-degree angle coming down. And up. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, lift up tall, have a moment to get to that other side, take a close step back, and into that staggered stance lunge, raising through the quad. Keeping a micro bend in the knees at the top. You can also opt to go with both weights for this, depending on how much of a challenge you want today. Up through the heel. But I know a lot of you who have been here for a long time, you can handle this. We've done so much worse. And up. 30 seconds. Prepare yourself for that final round of the tricep. We're going into our suitcase squats with both weights on either side of the thighs. And up. Controlled. We are not slamming down. Slow and up. 2 more. Last one. Stand tall, grab that other weight for me. Over to the side with it. Feet are in line with the hips. Dumbbells stay away from the thighs as we come down and lift up. 1 more round for quads to follow. And then I promise you're gonna get a break on the mat. And then our final 2 trisets today are going to be for hip flexion, essentially your mobility finisher. Last one, lift through the heels and put those weights over to the side. We're going into our elevated quad squats. If you do not have the block, by the way, you can also use the dumbbell for this one. You can raise your heels up on it, coming down into an elevated squat and raise. Okay. 10 seconds. I love this one. This is one of my favorites. Bringing both heels up. And here we go. Our second move, you can either hold a narrow squat or squat on the wall. All right. Get yourself balanced. Come down and raise. Now this is one of those exercises that it is okay to have your knees come forward. What you want to be more mindful of is, does it ache? If it does, don't come down so low, please. All right, you can be right here and back up. All I want you to do is be working those quads and up. This also has a lot to do with hip mobility itself. So you may not be able to come as low as I am. That's all right. And raise. Visit some of the mobility drills you've done, and eventually you can progress yourself to that point. And up. You've only got 15 seconds here. You've got this. And actually, I'm going to give you a 5-second transition. Just give me 1 more here. Lift up and bring yourself to the wall or in a narrow stance squat. There's a weight there. All right. Booty comes up against the wall. Press the shoulders into it. Lower yourself down into that quad squat on the wall. These are in line with the hips. The thighs are parallel with the mat here, and your calves parallel with the wall. If you need to, lift it up a little bit, but this is ideal for where I'd like you to be. We have 40 seconds. In this time span, I want you to think about your reason for being here today, why you're gonna keep going through these 30 seconds, and watch me drink some water. Oh, face is turning bright red. Here we go. If you can, sink it down a little bit lower. This is no problem. 15 seconds, then we're down on the mat. Well, after our 30-second tricep. But what is 30 seconds after a whole minute? It's nothing. Another 4 and 3. Keep holding. 2. Last one. Lift yourself up off that wall. Come down to the mat into our kneeling position. Whew. Bring the hands up. Lean it back. Back stays straight. Core is tight. No rounding. We're holding. Think about firing up those quads. Activate, squeeze, brace them. 10 seconds. Face straight ahead and hold strong. Fight through it for 4. You get a break after. 3, 2, on 1, bring yourself into an upright position and come on down to the mat. Okay, now the weight can go over to the side. We will not be needing that anymore. The yoga block, on the other hand, I'd like you to keep nearby. If you do not have the block, it will still be the same exercise. So we're coming into a lying position onto the forearm. The rib cage is lifted. Bottom leg comes straight, the top leg comes over that bottom leg. Flex that bottom foot. We're started. Lift, lift, lower with the inner thigh. Lift, lift, lower. If you need a little more support, just wrap your hand around the ankle and lift, lift, lower. Adduct to the midline, abduct away. Adduct to the midline, abduct away. For 4, it's about to get real. For 3, for 2, on 1, I want you to hold that leg as high as you can into adduction towards the midline, lifting towards the ceiling, and you're just gonna hang out here for about 20 seconds. If you're wearing a watch, you can start counting now. Of course, we've got that lovely timer up there. You can do this, shoulder away from the ear. Keep integrity in the posture, in the spine. For 3, do not come down. 2, on 1, you're gonna grab a hold of that yoga block and you are going to place it right below your foot here, okay? Now, we're gonna fight again for more adduction for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, you're gonna drive that heel down towards the block for 5, trying to create abduction away. 4, 3, 2, like you're pressing down on a scale. On 1, other direction, lift up as high as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, drive that heel, slow build up for that intensity, down towards the mat, fighting for abduction away from the body, like you're doing this here, okay? For 3, keep fighting. 2, full body tension. 1, lift it up and hold. 5. And 3, feel good? 2, 1, you're gonna kick that block out of your way. In 3, hold that leg where it is. 2, last 30 seconds on 1, circle back. For 5, 4, 3, doing amazing. 2, 1 more. Now switch directions forward. 5, 4, legs straight. 3, 2, last 1, hold for a second. When I tell you to come down, it's nice and slow. In 3, 2, slowly parachute that leg to the floor, have a moment, shake it out, and move over to that other side. Interesting way to practice our mobility here on the adductors. Okay, move that block right across. It's okay if you need a moment to adjust it while we're in that exercise. I know it's a little tricky to do by yourself. So onto the forearm, that bottom leg straight, shake that other leg out and lift it over. Again, if you need that support, wrap the hand around the ankle. In 2, in 1, we're flexing that bottom foot, lift, pump, lower. This is my bad side. Lift, pump, lower. Noticeably cannot come up as high here. And slow to lower. Lift, pump, lower. At no point are we relaxing on the mat though. I want that leg in hover the entire way through. Lift, pump, lower. Lift, pump, lower. Almost there. Lower. And lift, pump, lower. Now bring it up as high as you can into adduction and just hold right here. You're gonna hang out for about 20 seconds, maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna need a little more time to move that block, but keep holding as high as you can. Turn bright in the face, straighten that leg, feel the tremble. For 4, 3, do not lower down right away. 2, 1, let's try to quickly grab a hold of that block. Come back into position, have it where you need it. And we're lifting into adduction. Lift as high as you can. Hold. 5, 4, 3, ribcage lifted. 2, 1, now drive that heel down to the block. For 5, 4, creating abduction away from the body. 2, 1, again bring it up as high as you can. Fight for adduction. 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Drive down, slow build up. Driving that heel down like you're pressing into a scale, trying to place more weight on it. For 3, keep fighting. 2, 1, you're working through the adductor and through the hip. Lift up, hip adduction. For 5, 4, we've got 1 more. 3, 2, last drive down. Heel presses into the block. Rib cage lifted for 3, for 2, Last one, lift that leg and scoot that block out of the way. And we're going to lift the back knee adduction. Hold 4, hold 3, on 2, circle back for 5, 4, keep that leg high. Last 2, last 1, other direction, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold it high for 3. When I tell you to come down, it's slow in 2, in 1, slowly let that leg parachute to the floor and lift yourself up. All right, we've got one more drill. This is our finisher. It's going to be for hip flexion, which is very important for a lot of our squats, our lunges, and other moves that we like to do. So we're going to find a wall and we're going to back ourselves up onto it. Now what I want you to keep in mind here is we want an interior rotation back. So here's posterior rotation, that's our pancake butt move. Anterior rotation is creating that Kim K butt. We want to try to hold that, not force it, but hold that rotation back as we come onto the wall. Now bring the fists onto it, tense the left leg, flex the foot, and lift yourself into your active stretch range for hip flexion. Holding that anterior arch, now we're going to take our hands, cup them over the knee, relax the foot, and bring that leg a little bit higher. As high as you can, holding that anterior arch and not rounding through the lower back. We're actually going to hold right here in our passive stretch range for another 25 seconds. If you need to, you might need to shimmy yourself back a little bit more. The cool wall right now feels incredible on my shoulders. 13 seconds. Just hold this stretch. Building that range. Holding the anterior arch, don't let it go. And in 3, we're going to lift offs in 2, in 1. All right, you're gonna lift that knee as high as you can. Now tense the leg. As you back your hands off, you're gonna hold it in place as high as you brought it. For 3, hold that anterior arch. For 2, for 1, back on, relax the leg, drive higher, tense up, back off. For 4, 3, you're almost there. 2, 1, back on, relax the leg, drive it higher, tense the foot, and back off. For 3, 2, 1, back on, relax the leg, drive higher. Now we're gonna hold in that passive stretch, and our last hold is going to be 10 seconds. Hold that interior arch, hold that integrity, and in 3, 2, 1, tense that foot, hold it as high as you can, fight for hip flexion the entire way. For 5, for 3, the leg is not coming down. On 1, we're gonna straighten that leg out and hold. 15 seconds, then you have an extended break. Hold it as high as you can. For 4, 3, when I tell you to come down, it's slow, like you're parachuting to the floor. 2, on 1, slow to lower, slower, slower, slower. I know the quad might have cramped up a bit there, shake it out. You get an entire 35 seconds now. And then we're over to the other side for our same drill, and then I will let you go. This is essentially our cool down, but also our strengthening of the hips. How did that feel? It's different, right? Works wonders, especially for lower back. Now the reason we're holding that arch is because it's more true to hip flexion. It's harder to bring our leg up, yes, but it is going to help us increase that range. Okay, 10 seconds. I cannot believe how quickly this workout has gone by. All right, back yourself up onto the wall, create that interior arch, fist to the side. Now bring that right leg up into flexion, holding the anterior arch. Come up as high as you can. Now cup the hands over, relax the leg, and drive that knee up higher. You can stay in a relaxed stance here, okay? We're just holding that passive stretch. Then we go into our back off, lift offs. Then we've got our 15-second hold straight, and then we're done. Yes, this feels amazing and like torture all at the same time. Holding integrity throughout the body. We've got a full body brace going. The core is tight. Neck aligned with the back, aligned with the booty. You've got 10 seconds. Hold that interior arch. Don't allow the lower back to round. Now I want you to try to drive that knee up a little bit higher. Take a breath in, tense the body. Now flex the foot, back off, hold that leg where it is for 5, 4, 3, fight for hip flexion, 2, 1, back on, relax the foot, drive higher. Now tense, back off for 4, 3, 2, 1, back on, relax, bring it up higher, tense up, back off for 3, for 2, for 1, this time come back on, relax the leg, drive up higher, hold that anterior arch, you may need to adjust again, and you're gonna hold here. Our last back off is going to be for 10 seconds, then we straighten out. Now that you know what to expect, it's a little tougher, right? In 4, 3, 2, on 1, drive that knee higher, tense the foot, flex it, hold that leg where it is, remove the hands, hold the anterior arch, hold 4, ignore that buzzer, 3, 2, on 1, straighten that leg. We are not quite done yet. Straighten it out, drive that leg up higher, hold that anterior arch, body's nice and straight, for 3, for 2, when I tell you to lower, it's slow as can be. On 1, slowly parachute that leg down to the mat, slow, 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 did you hear the tremble? And relax it down, and we're going to quickly go into our hip cars inside lying. So lie down on the mat for me, just to train our nervous system of what we just did, the range of motion that we want to get. Head comes down on the block, bottom arm comes forward, it'll be 4 reps each side. No timer here, just a cool down. Bottom arm forward, top arm punches down, flex both feet, lift that top leg, you want the hips nice and stacked. Drive into hip flexion, open away from the body, internal rotation, adduct down, stack forward, drive back into extension, open away from the body into external rotation, adduct down, and extend. 3 more, come up, open wide, internal rotation, adduct down, come forward, donkey kick back without compensating at the lower back, hold that integrity, come forward and extend nice and slow here. 2 more. Open away, adduct down, stack forward, drive back, external rotation, fight for hip flexion as you come down and extend. 1 more. Open wide, internal rotation, adduct down, stack forward, donkey kick back, open wide into an external rotation as you come forward, fight for that hip flexion, extend and lower over to that other side. You should be feeling pretty good. Last 4, and then I will set you free. All right, top hand comes forward, top hand, bottom arm comes forward, top hand punches down. Now flex both feet for me, lift that top leg, bring it into hip flexion as high as you can. Keep in mind, you want to try to fight for more range of motion with every rep here. Come forward, come back, open wide, staying in a pain-free range the entire way through, and extend. Come forward at hip level, open away from the body, internal rotation, not allowing the hips to rock, adduct down, stack forward, into extension, open away, towards the front, to the midline, and extend. 2 more. Now you may even want to take these a little bit slower, but the more you're able to truly isolate that hip joint, the smaller you're going to find those ranges are, because you really are trying to isolate only the hip, not moving through the lower back, not moving through the torso. We're certainly not moving through the pinky fingers. Come forward and back, open wide, hip flexion. Last time, make it your best one, and extend and lower down. All right, everyone, I cannot wait for next week. I hope you can either. If you didn't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I bring you a new home workout every single week. And also like the video, comment. That's kind of what keeps me going, all right? It really does matter. Love y'all, and I'll see you for the next. Fabulous work today, everyone. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you had a good time and if you felt challenged. Smash that thumbs up button so I know you made it all the way through. Subscribe to the channel for a new routine every week. And don't forget to grab your free March Fitness calendar from the links below. Finally, turn your notifications on for next week's triple threat upper body workout. That's right, we've got an entire workout dedicated to upper body, all in TRISETS format once again. All right, everyone, I've got to run. I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you for the next one.